Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing some rogue mage. Ironically enough, we are facing a mirror match, which is perfect because this will probably be the only rogue mage we face. So when you're facing a rogue mage, I always say run cheat death, mainly because it's a sub rogue. So really anytime you face a sub rogue, you kind of want to play cheat death. Overall, it's just too strong, especially when smoke bomb goes, when it's really the only time you're going to die. So we're running cheat death. We're also still running the feint talent just because you're still getting damage reduction. You should always be running it just because of the damage reduction you're going to be getting. Even if you're not running the talent, you're still going to get damage reduction. The main goal here is normally would go try to sap the mage immediately. Your mage would try to stay back and get the stealth afterwards so you guys get the opener. I doubt this guy would do it. Yeah, as you can see, we're going to try to sprint and get the sap here. Looks like he uses his auto stealth, which is okay. So most likely my guy's gonna 1v1 him, and we're gonna wait for the rogue to come out. So this is pretty much just a stealth game. He's gonna come out of stealth. Now he does have his Nelf racial, or his Nelf racial. So if he was really good, yeah, see, as you can see, he Nelfs. So he's gonna come out first, and unless he saps him here, which is very possible, um, we can kind of just wait for him to come out. So here we get the sap, and at this point we can 1v1. So I'm going to let him 1v1 for a second. So he opens here. We're going to immediately open on him. We're going to evasion off this. Big damage here. So we're going max of them. We'll make sure we get our suns off. We're going to get behind him here. Nice. He comes out immediately. We're going to try to get him out here. So we're going to immediately rupture him. He sheeps. That's okay. We're not going to shrink it. There's nothing really going on right now. So we're pretty good. At this point, we're just waiting for them to open. Still waiting. We'll actually vanish here before anything can happen here. We're still waiting for stuff to go on. He actually gets me out. He blinds me. That's alright. He's going to try to stun kidney me here, so we have to be very careful with this. We're going to immediately kidney shot. We're going to cloak too, so we can't do anything about it. At this point, we're just going to do maximum damage and hope that we can kill, because it's really all it comes down to. At this point, we'll blind. We'll smoke bomb for a guy here, and the game should be pretty much over. So here we'll just blind. He trinkets. We can immediately stun him off this, because he has no trinket. He has the block. We restun his block. He's actually getting away from me here. We're trying to get there. Put a Rapture up so we can keep damage rolling. We still have Trinket, so if he does sheep us, we will Trinket. So we're going to kill him here, doing maximum damage, and we take him out. So again, it really just came down to stuns. So keep in mind, when you're doing that, it might look a little bit iffy, but that's pretty much how you're doing it. You're most likely killing the rogue 9 times out of 10, and it really does come down to rogue v rogue. Mage rogue usually comes down to the rogue. Alrighty, so now we have a warrior, ladies and gentlemen. So at this point, we're not going to run disarm. So in 2v2 arena, this is what I would normally not do, but since you're getting so much benefit out of tricks in 2v2 arena, we are going to be running tricks. This all really depends on our damage, so all we're doing is we're going to go warrior. Now, these games can be a little bit harder, mainly because when you cheap shot for your teammate, he's going to be able to port. So, it really just comes down to this guy DBing, or you just have to go through port. So you cheap shot him, and that'll be that. So what you're going to start out doing, normally you would sap the healer and he would DB the warrior, but obviously we're not playing at a super high rating, so I don't really expect too much. Now we are not only running a tricks macro, which will be down below, which is right here. We just got our gems, so we have no gems. We did just now get this, so this entire time we haven't had the primary stat, so we've been missing out on a lot of damage. So again, here running in, going to sap. Actually, we'll cheap shot. Nice, he does get the big dam here. We have massive damage. We're actually going to bomb late. We're going to immediately swap to this guy. We're swapping with damage. We're going to trinket this to just keep doing dam. Big damage on him here, so we're just keeping up until he goes here. Now this is where we're going to vanish and get out. He gave us a shield, so that's nice. Fortunately, we have one more stack we have to get through here, so... Nice, he incaps. Okay, I gotta get through this stack. Okay, nice. We kidney shot him. Big damage here. I give him tricks. We'll cheap shot this guy here. As long as we have a little bit of damage, we should kill him here. And nice. And that's pretty much how you do it. After that, we can blind him and he's pretty much dead. So it's kind of just overkill. Another game that's just swift. And it's just as fast as that. They can lose in just a couple of seconds. It might look like we're losing. Alrighty, so we're facing a Frost DK here, and these comps can be kind of squishy, but they can also be kind of good. So when you're facing a comp like this, now a lot of people don't know how to blind. So how you blind, unless you're non-playing rogue mage, what you're going to like to do is, if you cannot sap the healer, you immediately blind. That's how you get blind out of the way. So we're going to run in there. If we can sap, perfect. Looks like they're actually a solid team, so we're going to sap them here. Immediately sap. We're opening on this guy. He actually is a really good DB. We're going to give him tricks there. We're going to cloak this. We're going to resap. We're going to cheap shot after this, and then we're going to basically keep doing damage on this guy. So now we're going to bomb him. We're going to restun him. We're going to blind off this. Blinding. Now he has to trinket. Nice. So we get orb there. We're going to gouge him. We're going to put a rough strip on him too. At this point, we're running. He is blocked, so we don't really have to worry about him. We are going to run here. Going to try to get a re-stealth. Looks like we're not going to be able to, though. Might be able to sap this guy, actually, so we're going to try to sap. Looks like we cannot. So we're going to cheap shot. We're going to immediately stun. At this point, we're doing big massive damage, and just like that, the game is over. And that is pretty much a perfect example of how you're doing your CC, how you're going to be blinding, and how you are cheap shotting. And the reason we're cheap shotting is to do a setup for our teammate. So we're not just cheap shotting to do damage, we're cheap shotting off DR to where we can do our setup. So I'm cheap shotting, he's going to DB the DPS. The reason he's DBing him, so he can't stop him. So it gives him a few seconds to swap from doing damage to immediately do the sheep. So from damage to sheeping, and then I go from stunning to stunning. And it's really as simple as that. Games can end just like that. There's not really much these guys can do if you play really well Rogue Mage, and it seems this guy's actually not bad. And it really just goes down to doing your setups and doing damage on your setups. And again, the DK still did more damage than we did, and we did setups, which is pretty wild, but that's just all it takes. A few goes, and it's really just GG's. Alrighty, so we're facing an Arms Warrior and a Disc Priest. Now again, normally I would run Disarm, but I've been trying out the tricks, and I actually like tricks a lot better. You're just getting way more damage, and the games aren't gonna last that long. So the goal is not to necessarily disarm them. It's basically just do maximum damage. So if you're not used to running tricks, disarm is easily the next step. Otherwise, you're just running probably Thieves Bargain. You might lose a little bit of damage, but I mean, you only have one vanish. That's the only problem with this build, is only having one vanish in 2v2 arena. On top of playing Rogue Mage, we're already at a disadvantage playing Rogue Mage. Now, Rogue Mage is really good, but it's all biased based on comps. Like if you face it's really just hunter bias. If you face a bunch of hunters, you're gonna get absolutely slept. But there are chances like these where warriors where you can actually win games. So you're just looking out for those. So here we're gonna sap once he gets in line. So we sap here. We're gonna cheap shot him. We're gonna put tricks on him here. We're gonna immediately put our thing on him here. He might fear us, but we'll see. So he re-cheeps. Nice. We're gonna restun off that. Off that we'll blind if he trinkets it. We'll cheap shot again here. Cheap shot again. Oh, he fears. Really good fear. I wish we could swap this guy, but it looks like we're not going to be able to. So we didn't get trinket out of that, which kind of sucks. But we're going to go him anyway. So we're going to swap him for a second. Looks like he's fine, though. So not much we can really do about that. He actually misses his thing here. So we're going to rupture him. We're going to get ready to do a setup here. We're going to kidney shot him. So we're going to put symbols here. We're going to kidney shot. We're going to cheap shot. At this point, we're doing maximum damage here. Maximum damage. Nice. He gets a really good kick there. We're going to restun again. We're going to immediately blind off this. We blind and he's dead. So again, just comes down to that CC. Healer did really good by holding. Normally, you'd fear off all that CC and he'd have to trinket. I probably should have just immediately blinded him so we got trinket, but regardless, game was pretty much over. If he trinkets my cheap shot or his, he actually got a really good kick. So he got a kick into a sheep, so he probably couldn't death. Overall, really good setups, and again, it's so fast paced that these people don't really know what's going on. Normally, your DPS has to trinket use cooldowns. So if it's on my blades, as long as you live the opener, you're most likely going to be good. Especially when you have double PS, you have swap, you have trinket, you have so many cooldowns to work with. You should never be dying in the opener, or even the first two goes, just because you have so many cooldowns to go through. You just got to be very careful. If you trinket wall the first go, your healer has to trade. Now, usually, what I like to do is you're going to be 9 times out of 10, you're going to save your trinket for wall or for smoke bomb. A lot of people don't know this, but if you do trinket on a non-smoke bomb go, you will get swapped to and you will die, especially versus rogue mage when they have smoke bomb. Regardless of that, it really depends on your healer. So if you know your healer's going to click buttons and save you, That's usually what they have to do. But a lot of the times, you should be fine. Like your healer should have a cooldown, and he should be able to get in there fast enough to save you anyway. So it really comes down to just using your abilities. You have to trade. You know, if the warrior trades the first go, the healer has to trade the second go. So we're facing another warrior here. Pretty much the same thing. Go in, sap. Now, normally you would wait for him to DB the warrior so he can't preemptively blade storm. A lot of them is really fast paced, so you really have to be on that time to even try to do that. But again, warrior nowadays isn't really like that. You kind of can just be a little bit bad. So here we're gonna sap him for his enrage here. We're gonna cheap shot him. We're gonna immediately stun him here. We're gonna trinket this. Even though he has PS on him, we're still gonna keep doing damage. We're gonna rupture and evasion off this. We're gonna reset. We're gonna stun off this, so we're gonna stun him. We're gonna blind off that, and he should just die. So again, he tries holding cooldowns and gets absolutely obliterated, and pretty much a free win. So there's not really much to it. He had PS on him, but it's not gonna hold in that much long. You know, we have a long setup duration of time. So as long as they click cooldowns, they should be fine. You just have to over trade. So the warrior needs to use his wall, and he should be fine. As long as he trinket walls the moment I use my blades, there's no way he should die through it. He usually won't die. I don't even think he click it to anything until like 10%. But we take those dubs, and we're gonna get back into another game and see what we get. Alrighty, so we got a ret paladin here. Now, these can be very hard to deal with when you're dealing with, you know, bop, bubble, lay on hands, trinket, sack. Then you also got to go through the Holy Priest, CDs, Trinket, Angel, Guardian. There's a lot of cooldowns in the game right now. So that being said, this is kind of different. Now the only time we're going healer is on life swap. Um, Healers do die, but in the sense of life swap. That's the only time you're going to ever kill them. But that's pretty much when you're going to be swapping. So you're looking for those life swaps because there's chances that he gets low enough, he swaps, and you swap him just for a second and you can kill him. So here we're going to go in, sap the healer, and we're going to immediately get on this ret. The goal is to get bubble. It's always to get bubble or like lay on hands, something massive. That way we're getting something. So here we're going to wait till he comes up here so we can get a sap. So here we're going to sap him. Immediately get up on this guy here. We're going to tricks this guy here. We're going to restun him. We're going to resap if we can. So we resap. So we're going to trigger this. We're going to restun him here. We're doing big damage. He actually magic pops, which is alright. Here we're going to blind him here. Still doing maximum damage. So it looks like he's fine now, so we're going to put up a rupture, and we're pretty much done with our go here. So we're going to rupture him. We're going to try to kick his MD, because he is going to be MDing soon. So we are going to try to get it. We're going to try to get a resouth out of nothing. We're going to try to sap him here even too. We sap him. Immediately get on this guy here. So we get sap out of air, and again, those saps out of air can help. So here we're going to cheap shot. We get bubble there. We swap to this guy for a second, just for only a second. It's not anything crazy. Off this, we're going to cloak and hope we don't die in this global here. So here, we're going to get out of here. Immediately get out of here. We're going to try to eat a little bit. So we're eating a lot here. So again, you're looking for those eats as well. At this point, we're going to cloak. We're going to get out of here. He gets a really good cheap here, so we're going to cheap shot. We're going to use our tricks. We're going to bomb here as well. We're going to kidney shot off this. We're going to try to do a big damage. We're going to cheap shot off this. Nope, he gets the land hands. So again, just a ton of CDs that we have to go through. Now we're looking to kick the MD, because he is going to MD here in a second. We're going to try to get it here. We kick. Nice, very good. We're going to feint. We're going to use Shadow Dance. He's actually killing me through my CDs here. We're going to try to get a restealth into a sap. So again, looking for those saps if possible. We're going to cheap shot. Nope, can't cheap. He fears us. Ooh, we're in a really bad situation. I think he's dead. And that's just the power of an OP spec. Alrighty. So again, you won't win every game. A lot of classes will beat you just because of the amount of cooldowns involved. Rogue Mage is by no means a S tier, comp, but it can be played good enough to where you can definitely make it work. Obviously in the higher rating bracket, once you hit that like 2K bracket, maybe 2100, that's when it starts getting difficult because then you get people that know how to use their CDs. You know, it really just comes down to using your cooldowns on our cooldowns, and you should never lose. You can't lose to Rogue Mage if you do that. In our situation here, again, we're doing the same thing. So we're not going to run tricks. This is the only comp I'm not running tricks again. So we aren't going to be running this, so we're going to switch. The reason is the game lasts so fast. You're looking to pretty much peel. So we're not even going to bother trying to go sap him here. So he's gonna get the stealth regardless. It's whatever. He's a night elf, so it really doesn't really matter that much. So we're gonna look around. Our main goal is to try to find the rogue. So we're just gonna use a disorient, see if we can see what what's going on here. So again, just using your sat macro, you kind of just have to envision where you think they're gonna be, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna be looking around here. Mage comes out. Our guy can open. Nice, he gets it. So he should be able to 1v1 here for a second. So he gets alter time. He might purge it. Yep, purges it. Immediately open him with cloak on this guy. Big damage, so he immediately trinkets. We're not going to trinket because he's not blazing, so there's no point in trinketing this. We're going to immediately cheap shot. We're going to put a rep strip on him. We're going to stun this guy here. Big damage on him here. So we're going to flag just to, do some damage. He does immediately block it. We're going to keep this guy in combat. Nice. Okay, sheeps us. That's okay, because we're not going to trinket yet. He has alter, so he should be okay. So this is what we're going to trinket. So he sheeps my trinket immediately. We're going to vanish this. We're going to blind him. We're going to immediately kidney shot. We're going to bomb. We're going to try to do big damage to this guy. We're going to reach stun. Hopefully my guy can help me with them. We're going to cheap shot here so my guy can get away. So again, we're just helping our guy not die here. He should just be able to drink and be fine. We're going to gouge. He gets a full block. At this point, the game should be over, and that should be a GG. We're going to try to get a reset just to get Shadow. So, and there it is. So again, another game where we control the matchup. So even though my mage does a little bit of misplays, we immediately help our guy enough to where we immediately win the game. Again, it all comes down to the rogue. So I outplayed them enough to where I can end the game. And that's really all it takes. It just takes a little bit of time, and you will be able to win these rogue mage games with even with your mage doing a little bit of weird stuff, which is all it really comes down to. But he plays good enough to where we can still win those games. Alright, so we got another game here. Now I'm going to be showing the loss of the ret just to show that you're not going to win every game. Normally, the only comps you're going to be able to beat is like warriors and the occasional A tier specs. Otherwise, anybody that actually has a brain, you're not going to beat them. The comp is really good, don't get me wrong. It really does come down to the 1 second of somebody playing bad and you can win. But you're pretty much relying off other people to play bad instead of, it's the only comp that actually takes skill to do setups and actually win games like that. But pretty much we're going to sap the Mistweaver again. Same thing we did as the Frosty Gate. So we're going to get in there, sap. We're going to cheap shot him here. We're going to use tricks on our guy here. So we're immediately putting flag out. We're going to resap him here. We're going to cheap shot him since we can't sap. Big damage on him here. We're going to restun again. We're going to trinket this, restun. We're going to blind off this. We're going to keep doing unhealable damage to this guy here. We're doing maximum output. Okay, nice. So we get his trinket. Ooh, we are taking a lot of damage though, unfortunately. Hopefully I don't just die to air. So we did get away here for a second. My guy has to block. This guy is just doing he's just throttling our team. Trying to get it and eat, but there's... Okay, so we're going to eat for a second. Okay, now it's bugged again. Lucky. His pet actually got me out of stealth. That is wild. I've never seen that before. Yeah, so we stun him here. Stun him again. We're going to bomb him here. Stunning again. Have to kill him here. He needs to die. He has to die. Oh, come on, kill him, bro. Oh, no, we're dead. A weird toaster. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we got the last game here. So, we did post a few losses. So, you guys can actually see what really goes on. Now, again, my mage is new at the game. So, we've gotten him a little bit of rating. So, everything worked out how it should. It really just comes to damage. The thing that he can work on is just damage. He has actually pretty solid CC, but coming down to rogue mage, it all depends on your dam. Now, it does a little bit depend on your CC, but people have so many cooldowns that it's kind of just you have to do enough damage to force their cooldowns and hope for the best. Versus the DK, we actually could have won that if my guy done a little bit more damage, because it was like we should never lose to a DK like that. It was definitely like game over if my guy had done a little bit more dam. But the ret game, there was no chance we were winning that. That's the difference between that. So here we're going to sap this guy. Cheap shot. Unfortunately, we cannot cheap shot, so we're just going to tricks. We're going to immediately cheap shot him here. We're going to smoke bomb late. We're going to flag him. We're doing big damage. So here at this point, we're doing a ton of damage. He might just die to air. We're going to cheap shot off this, so immediately cheap shot. We're going to blind off that, so we blind immediately, and we end up taking him out. And again, ceasing just as fast is how you're going to be winning games. So, just on me, I was able to immediately control the game how I wanted to. We got double trinket, and they didn't even know what happened. So, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys want to see next, because I'm looking to do some more rogue videos. However, Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 6K subs. Make sure you hit like and make sure to put on notifications. Otherwise, it's been X, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.